In progress.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories
Hare
to
Krishna,
Srila
Prabhuji,
Prabhupada.
Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, uncle, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good, good. Thank you for joining, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. Not fine. So we'll continue with our series from Srimad Bhagavatam, the prayers of Queen Kunti, and we'll start with our Manglacharan. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanischa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Shcha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranmami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarobhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnamebhyo Namo Namah Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Sharad Bihari ki Jai Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki Jai Shri Shri Kishore Kishori ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we'll continue with the teachings of Queen Kunti. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope everyone is doing good and able to hear me. We might miss few devotees today because some of them are traveling, some vacation, holiday time. But anyway, we can continue. So in the last verse, that was Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.25, we saw, so Srimad Bhagavatam, the series that we decided to continue, and I'm sure it will take a while to cover all these prayers, wonderful prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada also termed Srimad Bhagavatam as the science of God, because this is the scripture, this is the Granth. When we discuss and we go deep into it, in the understanding and our hearing, then it pushes us into, or it gives a way into the technicalities of how to approach Krishna, how to serve him, how to love him, and in a very scientific way, in a way which has been tested and proven by many devotees. And that's why we have Srimad Bhagavatam as a proof that devotees, they have put these principles of Srimad Bhagavatam or Krishna consciousness into practice, and they have achieved the perfection of Krishna Prem. So we can also say very confidently that Srimad Bhagavatam is the science of God. So, and especially when we read and understand these wonderful scriptures through Srila Prabhupada books. Why Srila Prabhupada books are so important? His translations, his purpose, because of course he is the Jagat Guru of the modern days. But after hearing and reading his purports, the way he has composed all his books, not just Srimad Bhagavatam, it is like going into the battlefield with a bulletproof jacket. So in the path of bhakti, we always say we are at war with Maya. So when soldier go out in the war, he needs a good quality bulletproof jacket. So these books, they are our bulletproof jackets. Like it's if there is a rain, we need umbrella, right? If there is a very strong sunshine, we need some shelter, some tree shade. So Srila Prabhupada's books, his purports, the way he explains his classes, his lectures, they give us protection. One of the devotee was mentioning that all these scriptures, the Vedic scriptures, they are like strong waterfalls. जो झरना होता है, just think about a large, big waterfall. And if it's a very heavy waterfall or very strong waterfall, we can't stand beneath it. झरने के नीचे हम खड़े नहीं हो सकते अगर बहुत strong है तो. So these purports, these explanations, these classes by Srila Prabhupada, they are like तो झरना जब flow होके गिरने के बाद flow होके when it goes into the ocean, it becomes a very steady water, very peaceful. So and then we can take a dip into that ocean. It's like that. Srila Prabhupada's purport, from so much scripture, so much knowledge, he gives us very, very clear, very peaceful understanding of the science of Krishna consciousness. So very, very important to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada's books. So when in the last verse, Bipdaha Shantu Tah Shashvatra Shashyatatra Tatra Jagadguru Bhavato Darshanam Yat Shyad Apunar Bhavadarshanam. We saw Mother Kunti, Queen Kunti is explaining who can see God. Well, when they were in trouble, they were in so much difficulties, Krishna was always with them. And now in the next verse, which is 26, let's go to 26. I hope everyone can see the verse on the screen. We'll read the verse, and the explanation here is who cannot see God. What are the obstacles? Because we need to know both the do's and don'ts. What to do, what is anukul for Krishna service, and what is we have to leave, what we need to abandon, right? But what is pratikul to the service of Krishna. So text 26, Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri Bhir Edhaman Madaha Puman Naivarti Abhidhatum Ve Tvam Kinchana Gocharam. Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri Bhir Edhaman Madha Puman Naev Arhati Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Kinchana Gocharam. Anyone would like to recite this very beautiful shlok?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edhamana Madhapuman Neva Arhati Abhidhatum Ve Tvam Akinchan Gocharam.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. So just to make sure everyone is awake, maybe everyone can just say Hare Krishna, so I can also get some enthusiasm, and we all can enthusiastically. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Oh my
Hare
God, everyone is
Krishna.
awake. That's great. So usually, joking way, they say Krishna Katha. Sometimes devotees, they tend to sleep, and they are hearing. Sometimes it becomes too long or too philosophical, right? So one of the devotee was saying, the problem is that not that we get bored, but by conditioning, we want to talk about ourselves. We want to say about ourselves or what we like, what we dislike. We want to glorify ourselves. That is our conditioning as a living entity in this world. And when we hear Krishna Katha, our subconscious mind is telling us, oh, there is somebody else who is more, much more glorified than you. And this is here, only thing you are hearing about somebody else. So our mind starts taking a back seat slowly and slowly. So that's a struggle for a devotee. For that is the mind control we have to do. Because by conditioning, when we hear the glories of Krishna, because by envying him, we got into this material world. So slowly, we are training our mind to accept his glories, that I am nothing. Krishna is the supreme. He has all the qualities. Everything is happening because of him. So slowly, our mind will give up. Right now, he is accustomed to only hear our own glories. We might not be saying it loudly, but internally, we like to hear about ourselves. Somebody glorifying us, praising us all the time, or talking about ourselves, what I like, what is working for me, what is not working for me. Like too much talks. So anyway, we'll proceed. Word to word meanings: Janm, birth; Aishwarya, opulence; Shruta, education; Shribhihi, by the possession of beauty; Edhamana, progressively increasing; Madha, like a mud. Mud means pride, intoxication. Puman, the human being; Na, never; Ev, ever; Arhati, deserves; Abhidhatum, to address in feeling; Vai, certainly; Tvam, you; Akinchan Gocharam, one who is approached easily by the materially exhausted man. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. Please pay attention to each and every word. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. Again, one who is trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. Purport. Anyone would like to read purport, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can I read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, please go ahead.
Being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth and education and attractive personal beauty. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences, and this is known as the advanced of material civilization. But the result is that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly. O Govinda, O Krishna, it is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of a quantity of sins that he is unable to commit. Such is such is the power of uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exaggeration in this statement. Actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency, but there is a quality to uh, such utterances also. It depends on the quality of feeling. Uh, a helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name occasionally, but he is incapable of uttering the name in quality. Therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely high parentage, good wealth, high education, and attractive beauty, are, so to speak, holy name of the Lord occasionally uh, for four principles of material advancement. Okay, high percentage, high parentage, good wealth, good education, high education, and attractive beauty are, so to speak, disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. The material covering of the pure spirit soul is an external feature as much as fever is an external feature of the unhealthy body. The general process is to decrease the degree of the fever and not to aggravate it by maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that spiritually advanced persons become materially improvised. This is so discouragement. On the other hand, such impo- impoverishment is is a good sign as much as the falling of temperature is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication which leads one to be more and more illusioned about the aim of life. Gross, grossly illusioned persons are quite unfit for an entrance into the kingdom of God. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So very nice purport. Like why we see sometimes or often people are not able to even take the names of Krishna with feeling because of pride. Pride in what? Pride in these four things mainly. High parentage. That I come from a very, very big family, very cultured family, very rich family, good wealth, that I'm so rich. We have pride of money, wealth, opulence. High education. I'm a big doctor, I'm a big engineer, I am big lawyer, I'm this and that. They're all very, very engrossed in our consciousness. Beauty. If we are good looking, then beauty. So these are the obstacles actually. So in this verse, Queen Kunti is talking about who cannot see God. Who cannot see God means who cannot do bhakti, who cannot serve Krishna. People who have these four pride, these are the obstacles in the path of bhakti. So these things are not bad actually. Wealth, money, education, beauty, they are not bad. But attachments to these things, they bind us. They keep us away from bhakti. See, what we love, we are attached to it, right? So if we love, either we can love the material things or we can love Krishna. We cannot love both. Either we can love spiritual or we can love material. So what we love, we are attached to, right? So it's a good check for us to see when do I get more excited? When I think about my bank account, my education, my material relationships, my bodily beauty, or do I get more excited to hear about Krishna or to serve Krishna, to serve Krishna's devotees, to go to temple, to serve the mission of Krishna? When do I get more excited? Where is the trigger that uddipan for my enthusiasm is? That's a check. Srila Prabhupada also saying, temperature, right? Like a fever. These material coverings is like fever, bukhar. They make our spiritual body, our spiritual life unhealthy. And on the other hand, in the previous verse, Mother Kunti was saying about difficulties, lack of opulence. They trigger Krishna's remembrance. So that is like the temperature has gone down. These impoverishment. That's what the meaning is here. So one question: when we say, if somebody asks who is Krishna, what is the answer that comes to our mind? What will we say? You can unmute yourself and please answer. Who is Krishna? That's the question. Based on Srila Prabhupada's book, we read, we discuss all the time. Who is Krishna?
Usually Prabhupada said the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay. Anyone else?
Supreme Father, like.
Okay. Anyone else?
He also says Bhagwan. Krishna
Okay.
is Bhagwan.
Yes. Anyone else has any other answer? So, two answers came. One is Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Person, Supreme Lord. Bhagwan, same thing, right? So, what is the problem when we say Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Lord? So we are talking about little advanced, right? Advanced bhakti. So when we start, we understand, we know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the problem? Anyone sees any problem here? Okay. The problem here is that we are missing that he is my sweet Lord. There is a very nice song, a bhajan in English composed by George Harrison, My Sweet Lord. So the point I'm trying to make is, yes, Krishna is definitely Bhagwan, Supreme Personality of Godhead, but we have to get to a point where we can develop our love with Krishna by considering that he is my Lord. I am his servant. He is my sweet Lord. Like the word that comes in Sanskrit is mamatva, to develop this mamta, apnapan with Krishna. So that is the missing link. So as we practice bhakti, we develop that missing, the gap. We develop that apnapan, that mamatva with Krishna. It's a very beautiful, if you have not heard this song, Oh My Sweet Lord by George Harrison, he was very inspired by Srila Prabhupada. And he served the mission of Srila Prabhupada or assisted the mission of Srila Prabhupada in UK in a very big way. Even this Bhakti Vedanta Manor, the big temple in London, that land was donated by him. So coming back to the point is that we have to say, he is my master. I am his servant. He is my Lord, just not the Lord. He's Of course, he is the Lord of the whole universe. But in the path of bhakti, we are trying to develop a very intimate relationship with Krishna. In any rasa, in any mood. That apnapan has to be there. See, last time also we were discussing towards the end of the class that when there is not apnapan in the relationship, it's very dry. It's not two-way, and it becomes a dry, very artificial. And in this material world, majority of or almost all our interactions are very artificial when then that apnapan is missing, right? It becomes very dry after some time. So the more nectar, maja, anand jo hai, it is apnapan, right? So we have to develop the same with Krishna. How can that happen? So that is called as going from false ego. What is the false ego? I'm from big family. I have such a good background. I am so wealthy. I have that position in the company. I have high education. From that false ego to true ego. Even that in the path of devotion, I am a big devotee. We might not say that, but we can, in a very subtle way we are thinking I'm the best. I'm better than everybody else, right? That is false ego. So when we to transform that false ego to true ego, the true ego is Krishna is my master, my master. Unless we say he is my master, we will not consider ourselves as his servant. See, people in this world are anyway mad, right? They are crazy. They're crazy after material things, running around all the time to achieve this and that. But Nityanand Prabhu, Gadadhar Pandit, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. These devotees, these great personalities, they were also mad. Nityanand Prabhu is called as, another name for him is madman. But they were mad in the bhakti of Krishna. So that madness is good, not the madness for this world, not the madness to go after high education, high parentage, high wealth and all that. And that is someone who is mad for Krishna or in the Krishna Prem, he is akinchan. The word comes here is akinchan. He is the materially exhausted man. Doesn't necessarily mean that he has lost everything. It means he has no interest in material things. His only interest is Krishna Prem. Akinchan Gocharam. So there was once a person came to a saint and he requested, can you teach me about God? So that saint replied to him, I can, but are you ready to lose yourself first? Losing yourself first. So we have to lose ourselves, meaning I, mine. We have to lose that false ego. Just like, at least I remember when I came to US and I was trying to get the driving license. So I took a couple of lessons, driving lessons. And that instructor was from Pakistan, very nice person. And when he saw me first, how I was trying to learn, and I knew driving before from India, so he could understand how good a driver I was in India. So basically what he asked me to unlearn everything I knew before, to forget what I learned, and then just follow his instructions. So that helped me, right? Similarly, we have to lose ourselves first. We have to forget ourselves first. Even when we serve Krishna, we might be thinking, I'm offering bhoga to Krishna, I'm doing arti, I'm doing this service, I am doing this and that. That I is still there. I in the brackets. So how to get rid of this I? This I? Any thoughts? How can we get rid of this I? That is the topic today. How to get rid of this I.
by serving.
Yeah, but when we are serving, yeah, right answer. But when we are serving, we might think I am serving, so that I is still there. Because when I am serving, right? So, and devotees will be praising me.
So by being detached,
How?
yeah, but being detached is like, yeah, because when we are doing service, we have to be attached, like we have to be conscious, right?
Yes. So that's a dilemma. Very good point. But
Yeah.
that is the dilemma, right? So, some practical answer, very practical answer, and it's a very simple. Everyone, when I will say, everyone will say, "Oh yeah, we know that. We have heard it many times."
Because like we can bring Krishna in between, like Krishna is doing.
So when we are serving, Krishna is already there, right?
Yeah.
Anyone would like to give a try? Anyone else? How to get out of this eye? So practically, what should we do? Whatever service we are doing, we go to temple, we serve. Whatever service we are doing, cleaning, helping in book distribution, assisting in the mission in whatever way, cooking, offering arti, even listening the class, right? Or some devotees have the service to give the class. We should always have this strong conviction, or at least should try to develop that whatever I'm doing on behalf of my spiritual master. I'm doing on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. When we are when we get very convinced about it, then even if the appreciation comes from our services, or even the criticism comes, it will not affect us. Any appreciation, we pass it on to our spiritual master. Of course, our Srila Prabhupada is our eternal spiritual master. And any criticism, we take it as we are not attached then, right? We just take it as a feedback and move on, right? Or take any corrective action. Make sense? Does it sound practical that we can do? Yes, no, not sure. There are 3 choices. Okay, then Vidya says yes. What do others think? Is it something doable or may help?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we serve on behalf of our spiritual master, right? We can always offer that prayer, right? Before we are starting our service to get into that consciousness. Because I is very strong. This I is very, very strong. So there is a saying, when I goes, I may go. When this I goes, then I may be able to go to Godhead. That's the saying. And okay, so one practical aspect is that we offer our services on behalf of spiritual master. Still, a lot more is required. It is not because I is engrossed in us so much, so strongly, that our spiritual masters tell us that we need extraordinary seva of Krishna and devotees. They use the word extraordinary seva, not just normal seva. Of course, we start with our understanding the philosophy, then some services step by step. But what actually is needed as we uplift ourselves, move on, extraordinary seva of Krishna and his devotees. We cannot get rid of this I on our own. Impossible. Not at all possible. So that is why it is called as Krishna consciousness, or the path of devotion is the path of seva and sacrifice. It's the path of seva, service, and sacrifice. Service of whom? Service of Krishna, his mission, and his devotees. All comes together as a package. Krishna doesn't come as single entity. He comes with his mission and with his devotees. And this is the path of service and sacrifice, blessings, and mercy. Very important component of this path. And the fire. What kind of fire? Not the yagna fire. कि हम यज्ञ करने बैठ गए और हवन किया और हमारा ईगो चला जाएगा. No, the fire of guilt, the fire of humility, and fire of separation from Krishna and devotees. Why they are called as fire? Because they will burn us. When we feel guilty that how much sins we have done, how much offenses we have been making again and again, even after understanding this philosophy, even after understanding how much important it is to not make offenses, still we are not able to do it. So that guilt has to be there in our heart. That fire of humility. Becoming humble is not just a lip service. It's a very austere thing to become real humble, genuine humble, not just sugar-coated words. Everybody knows what we mean, right? So sugar-coated words, sugar-coated smiles, no use. That's why it's a fire, to become genuinely humble. And fire of separation. When we are separated with our loved ones, we feel very burning, right? That we feel that fire. So we have to develop this fire that we are separated from Krishna and his devotees. Whenever we don't get this, we should have a greed for devotee association, good devotee association. That is the most important greed we need in the path of bhakti. So I will repeat. This is the path of service, number 1. There will be a quiz after the session. So this question may come. This is the path of service. This is the path of sacrifice. This is the path of blessings, mercy, and fire. And 3 fires we talked about. Fire of guilt, humility, and separation. And they all together. Everything is needed. That's why it's an extraordinary endeavor we need to upgrade ourselves in bhakti. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to give a very, very nice example that when somebody plays guitar, they will harmonize all the strings of the guitar together at the same time, and then they will play the music. Then the music comes out is very sweet when all the strings are harmonized and they are tuned properly. That is Sankirtan. So we need all these things: blessings, mercy, fire, seva, sacrifice. All are the strings of this guitar of our spiritual life. Everything should come together. Meaning, everyone should come together. Not that we get hold on to the different string. There are 2 meanings here, right? All these attributes of bhakti, and then we all as devotees should come together. ऐसा नहीं कोई अपना तार बजा रहा है, कोई अपना तार बजा रहा है, कोई कहीं जा रहा है. What will happen if strings are not harmonized? They are not synced. The sound that will come from guitar is very besura, very bad, very unpleasing to the ears. अपना अपना बोलते हैं, अपना अपना गाना बजा रहे हैं, अपना अपना सितार बजा रहे हैं. So that should not happen. Sankirtan means coming together and playing a very nice music for the pleasure of Krishna. Every day we should feel very helpless. Every day we should, in the morning when we wake up, we should feel helpless and beg for the mercy of Krishna and devotees. We should literally beg to Krishna and devotees to help us, bless us. Without devotees, we cannot progress. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. That should be the mood where I'm coming towards this. In the morning, there should be the mood when we are chanting. Easy to say, but I'm saying that doesn't mean that I am able to follow it. I'm telling myself also, reminding myself also. This should be the mood when we are chanting. We should really become helpless. At least 1 or 2 rounds, we should try. And then, of course, we should increase this feeling of helplessness and begging in all our rounds. That will be the real prayer, real chanting. In Krishna consciousness, in this path of bhakti, most important thing is, out of whatever we discussed, is mercy. Srila Prabhupada also used to say, 90% mercy, 10% effort. What does it mean? That all our efforts are to attract Krishna's mercy and his devotees' mercy. See, this has to be very, very clearly understood. 90% or more than 90, actually 99% is said is mercy, and 1% is effort. But that 1% is so important that when we do that 1%, 100%, that attracts Krishna's mercy and devotees' mercy. So the two most important components of mercy are service and prayers. Like we discussed, how we should have this feeling of helplessness and we should back to devotees and Krishna. And this is the real science of Krishna Bhakti. And this is just not the science of Krishna Bhakti, this is the secret of Krishna Bhakti. Because that is what we are supposed to feel or induce in our consciousness while we are chanting every morning. That's why chanting is so important. We are begging to devotees, we are begging to Krishna, we are feeling genuine helplessness, and we are begging for service every day. See, our aim is not just to get Krishna Prem. Our aim is also of course, we need to develop love for Krishna, but also aim is to get loved by Krishna. It has to two-way, right? We discussed the real rasa, real anand is when there is a two-way traffic. So Krishna is already qualified, we know. He is full of qualities, full of anand, full of rasas, infinite qualities he has. So he is already qualified as someone we should love. So that is done. Now the other part is the problem that I'm talking about myself, that now I have to become qualified. That is the meaning of word. See on the screen, arhati. Arhati means, let's see, deserves. I have to become qualified now. So Guru Maharaj also says many times in his classes, first deserve, then desire. Sometimes devotees come into bhakti and they start running a little too fast. Now they have desires in bhakti also. That I want to do this seva, I want to become this, I should be treated like this. So Guru Maharaj says, first deserve, first become qualified. And then you desire. Right? So you have to become deserve to get Krishna Prem or to get loved by Krishna. So complete meaning of Krishna Prem is we develop love for Krishna because he's already qualified, that we are sure. And then Krishna loves us back. Then what happens? We can live together, enjoy together with Krishna and his devotees. I hope that point is very clear because it's a very, very important point. And Krishna is already eager to love us. That also we know. That makes it a little easier for us. So when we start loving him, our heart starts cleansing and we start becoming deserving also. So that's the equation we have here. Any question, anything not clear? Because probably it's a lot, but shouldn't be that difficult. But still, if anyone want me to repeat anything from what we just heard or any question, please feel free to unmute yourself. We can quickly do one more verse otherwise in the next 10 minutes. Okay. If everything is clear, there will be quiz after the class. Okay, so next verse, we'll go to the next verse, 27. 27, yeah. Namo akinchana vittaya nivritta gun nivrittaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. My obeisances are unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied and therefore you are the most gentle and are master of the monists. So now after Kunti Maharani explained who can see God and who cannot see God, now she is glorifying Krishna. And see, she is doing Nam Sankirtana. All these Nam like Akinchana, Vittaya, Nivritta Guna, Vittaya, Atma Ramaya, these are also the names of Krishna. So she is doing Nam Sankirtana. So in the prayers also, the advanced devotees, they are doing Nam Sankirtana. So one of the important word here is, the translation is very big. Let me see, how should we do that? Maybe we can read a couple of paragraphs and discuss, and then remaining we can do next time. Anyone would like to read the purport?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Okay. Oh,
I'll-
I think Nina Didi wanted to read, I think.
Okay, yeah. So let her read.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
A living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. Therefore, a living being cannot be in a real sense of the term a renouncer. A living being renounces something for gaining something far valuable. A student sacrifices his childish proclivities to gain better education. A servant gives up his job for a better job. Similarly, a devotee renounces the material world not for nothing but for something tangible in spiritual value. Srila Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and others gave up their worldly pomp and prosperity for the sake of the service of the Lord. They were big men in the worldly sense. The Goswamis were ministers in the government service of Bengal, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was the son of a big Jamidar of his time. But they left everything to gain something superior to what they previously possessed. The devotee are generally without material prosperity, but they have a very secret treasure house in the lotus feet of the Lord. There is a nice story about Srila Sanatan Goswami. He had a touchstone, and this stone was left in a pile of refuse. A needy man took it, but later on wondered why the valuable stone was kept in such a neglected place. He therefore asked Sanatan for the most valued thing, and then he was given the holy name of the Lord. Akinchana means one who has nothing to give materially. A factual devotee or Mahatma does not give anything material to anyone because he has already left all material assets. He can, however, deliver the supreme asset, namely the personality of Godhead, because he is the only prosperity, a factual devotee. The touchstone of Sanatana Goswami, which was thrown in the rubbish, was not the property of the Goswami. Otherwise, it would not have been kept in such a place. This specific example is given for the new faithy devotee just to convince them the material hankerings and spiritual advancement go ill together. Unless one is able to see everything as spiritual in a relation with the Supreme Lord, one must always distinguish between spirit and matter. A spiritual master like Srila Sanatan Goswami, although personally able to see everything as spiritual, set this example for us only because we have no such spiritual vision.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So very, very nice points here. So in the next 5 minutes, we can just discuss quickly. So again, here Queen Kunti is glorifying Krishna. Now, from this verse until the verse 43, all the verses, she will keep on glorifying Krishna. So she is saying that you are Atmaram, always self-satisfied. You are akinchana vittaya. See, vitta means wealth, right? The Hindi, the word vitta means wealth. Here, when she says, you are the property of the materially impoverished. And the meaning of word akinchana vitta is to whom devotees have dedicated their mind, body, wealth, everything. There is a very nice song in Hindi, Tan Man Dhan Sab Tera, Kya Lage Mera. Very nice song. Meaning, this body, Tan, my mind, Man, and Dhan. Whatever I possess, it's all yours, Krishna. So, that's how the name Akinchana Vittaya comes. Because that person who has given everything, यदि हमने अपना तन मन धन कृष्णा को दे दिया, then we become akinchan. Nothing is left, right? That we own. Then we truly consider Krishna as our master. So, kinchana vittaya. Another glorification of Krishna is Atmaram. I'm sure everyone knows Atmaram word meaning is one who is fully satisfied in himself. Now, what does it mean? One who is fully satisfied. See, in Mahabharata, there are a couple of places. It comes that when Krishna was staying in Hastinapur with Pandavas, he was meditating. Every morning he used to meditate. And it is mentioned in Mahabharata that he used to meditate on himself. So that is the understanding at the level of Mahabharata Itihas. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam gives the true meaning of what is the meaning of Krishna meditating on himself. And Krishna is meditating on himself, meaning, Atmaram meaning, he is fully satisfied, meaning, he is fully satisfied in himself. He is always engrossed on himself in the consciousness. The real meaning is that he is meditating on his pure devotees. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us. So if we think about it and feel about it, that Krishna is meditating on his devotees. Devotees are meditating on him, and Krishna is meditating on his devotees. How beautiful it is. How, when we understand it correctly, it really makes that relationship with Krishna so sweet that if we become pure, and it gives us a hope that whenever we will become pure devotee, right, then Krishna will meditate on us. We will meditate constantly on Krishna 24/7, and he will be meditating on us. So in one of the incident, it comes that he was meditating on Bhishma Dev sometime on some devotees, right? So this is the real meaning of Atmaram. See, our attitudes toward bhakti has to be correct. If we just blindly keep on doing something, we will miss the point. So our attitudes toward devotion has to be correctly understood from the right source. Otherwise, what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Charitamrita? Bahu janme kare yadi shravana kirtana tabu tana paye Krishna pade prema dhana. Bahu janme kare yadi shravan kirtan. If our attitude, our process is not correct, we can keep, and this is what Lord himself is saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If we keep on doing bhakti without the right process, keep on making the 10 offenses, Nam Aprad, Vaishnav Aprad, Dham Aprad, Seva Aprad, if that is our attitude, then Bahu Janme Kare Yadi Shravan Kirtan. If we keep on doing Shravan and Kirtan, whatever, for Janam Janam, Bahu Janme, बहुत सारे जन्म, still we will not be able to achieve or feel or experience Krishna prem. We can be called as still devotee, with tilak, tight dhoti kurta, naive attitude, devotee. But if process is incorrect, then Lord is declaring Krishna prem is a very precious thing. We can keep on worshipping, we can still keep on hearing and doing the kirtan, participating in kirtan mandlis, kirtan parties. Nowadays it's a fashion of kirtan parties. Come, do arti together, kirtan parties, and then do whatever we want to do, right? If the process is wrong, then it's okay, right? That we still are keeping or trying to keep Krishna in the center, but Krishna prem nahi milega. To get Krishna prem, much more is required. So it is said, Prabhupada used to say, it is simple for the simple-minded people, and it is complex for the complex or crooked-minded people. So sometimes it may sound, oh, then how will you get it? Just be simple. Just be genuinely simple, genuinely honest, genuinely sincere. Take the shelter of Harinam, take the shelter of devotees, spiritual masters. Take the shelter of scriptures. And extraordinary, at least do our best. Extraordinary doesn't mean that we have to compete with others in the services. We have to give our 100%. Krishna doesn't look at what we give that much. He looks more at what we are holding, that we are capable of doing, but we are not doing it, right? That's what Krishna looks at, how much we are holding. So the attitude in bhakti should be right. So we'll continue next week. Next Friday will be the Gita Jayanti anyway. So just to quickly recap, when Kunti is explaining who can see God, who can get the association of God, or who can experience God, Krishna, who cannot see God, or what are the qualification or disqualification for Krishna to practice devotion. And we discussed what are the important components of this path: extraordinary service of Krishna and devotees, sacrifice, and service meaning service of Krishna and his mission and his devotees, everything, including blessings, mercy, fire of guilt, humility, separation. Everything has to be. Keep that example of guitar, what Bhakti Siddhanta, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave, who is the spiritual master of our Prabhupada. When all the strings of guitar are harmonized, tuned, then music is good. Otherwise, we can keep on playing our own music. Somebody is going in this direction, somebody is doing whatever. Apna apna tar bajao or bhajan bajao. Besura music. Krishna will not be pleased. So our endeavor should be to give or to play very nice, sweet music for the pleasure of Krishna. With that, I will conclude. And any questions, any points, any comments? If I might have said something which I should not have, I really apologize. But if any corrections, most welcome. Any understandings, any sharing, any realizations, please unmute yourself. We can take maybe 5 minutes more. You can repeat whatever you might have heard, or whatever you might have liked or remember. It's a very beautiful verses. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So anyone have anything? Any one point anyone might have liked?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I like that point, like the first point which we discussed, that we have to make Krishna our, like my Krishna. We say Krishna, Krishna. So like, yeah, so that become more closer and become more personalized, like the Brajvasis, right?
Yes.
My Kanaya, my Kana. So
And
yeah,
not in the not in the copycat way, but we really have to feel that more than saying. that feeling experience is needed, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That is
like
more important.
like they say Mero Vrindavan, like in that way, like we have to get that feeling like my,
Yeah.
and we have to, like as you said, that to get rid of those pride, and like we have to serve under the, like we have to do service like we are doing on behalf of Guru Parampara.
Guru Parampara,
Because
very good point. Yes, Guru Parampara.
yeah, so because like when we do something good, then we puffed up, oh, I did this, I did that. So to avoid that, so like, okay,
To avoid that, and I will also make a point. Anyway, our services will not be accepted by Krishna directly. They are always accepted through Guru Parampara.
yeah.
So that's the safest way anyway, right? Because when we do on behalf of Guru Parampara, then our spiritual masters are taking care of whatever gap we have between us and Krishna. The gap is false ego, right? So our spiritual masters, our Guru Parampara is bridging that gap. So
Right.
it's, anyway, that's the process. So yes, very good point. What else?
Yeah, I will let others also say.
Yeah, very good point actually. Yeah, thank you. Anyone else would like to share anything? Anything you might have liked or remember or would like to share?
Yeah, I think Krishna conscious is a path of service and sacrifice, and it's a path of like, blessings, mercy.
Yes. So you were ready for the quiz, Mataji. It's very good. Yeah, that's a very important point. It's the whole package together. Extraordinary service, sacrifice, blessings, mercy, fire of guilt,
Fire also, yeah.
of guilt,
Fire of
humility, and
humility.
separation.
Yeah.
And then remember the example of guitar, right? So
And
anybody else?
90% 10% only effort.
Yes.
Yeah, 90% mercy and
99%
10%
mercy, 1% effort. But that
effort.
1%, when we do 100%, not holding anything back, then that attracts Krishna's mercy. See, Krishna is very teda, right? So he always gives this tedi-medi equation. But that is the process. That's what he likes to do. Anyone else? You can all Hindi, English, any language is fine. Okay. If nothing else, thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Next Friday we will have celebrate Gita Jayanti. I know many devotees were not available, so whoever are able to come, we can read together. Okay, we'll check personally. I think I know who is not available, so I will double check with who I think is available to make sure we are on the same page and we can get together at the same time. Probably we can start early, like 6:30 or 7 p.m. if that works out for everyone, and then we can complete the recitation maximum by 8:30 if possible.
6:30 will be late, Prabhuji. We have to start at 6 o'clock, so that 9 o'clock, 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah,
or
ठीक है.
so
So
6 o'clock.
We'll keep the time at 6 p.m. Please try to come, or please come before 6. So dot at 6 o'clock we'll start. Is that okay? I mean, not sure who all are available, but it will be in person reading. And yeah, that's it. It's Ekadashi day, so probably we will skip Prashadam. Those details we can work through. So we'll just focus on the recitation. So there is no time spent on the cooking also in the evening. So everyone who is available can come on time. And then yeah, that's all from me. Anyone has any questions, you can ask now, or we can also communicate on the chat. Thank you very much, everyone. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Vancha kalpa tarur bhesha kripa sindhu bhyevacha. Patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Vaishnav ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.